Yeah, well, the postal worker community is remembering Octavia Redmond today. Many are still devastated by her loss, and in honor of her, they are demanding change. Union representatives say that many of their postal workers continue to be assaulted, robbed, and they want more protection. It was almost a year ago when the 48-year-old postal worker was killed when she was doing her job. A 15-year-old boy was charged in her murder, and authorities arrested that teenage boy in Iowa. Prosecutors say Redmond was tracked on her route and then shot several times in the West Pullman neighborhood. This morning, union representatives, elected leaders, and also faith leaders rallied at the post office in Roseland, where Redmond worked, to demand change.
We're performing our duties. We're not out here messing around. We're performing our duties, rain, sleet, and snow. But we can't do the bullets, y'all. We cannot.
And I'm here today to stand with our letter carriers, because letter carriers don't just deliver letters. They are a lifeline to our community. And so today I'm here in my blue because I want you to know that if you come for letter carriers, you come for my community. And if you come for my community, you come for me. And just like I'm a public servant, these letter carriers are public servants.
And letter carriers are also pushing for state and federal legislation. There is currently a bill in Congress right now that could change sentencing guidelines. If passed, anyone convicted of assaulting a postal employee, they would be sentenced to the same as assaulting a police officer.
All right, what's up, folks? We back with another episode of the Vulture Delivery podcast, episode 7. Got 7 in the chamber. So, got me, Slim Thugger, Brother Ma to the right. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Tyler, he might hop on a little bit later, man. He running around. You know how the Pod Piper do, out there in the city. But should make the program. But on today's show, we was gonna talk about transparency within all these delivery services, man. It's funny, man. They always like, especially in these meetings, right? These job huddles that we have every morning. They harp on things should be transparent. Like, we're open. Whatever you want to ask us, we're gonna give it to you straight up. But from my experience, that's not always the case, man. They say one thing, but you get down to the nitty gritty. I'm like, it's never like that, bro. I mean, what do you think, Mar?
Yeah, man. He's kind of wishy-washy, kind of flip-floppity, man. If you ask me. I think it all boils down to what office you work at and who you work with, too.
Oh, man. Especially when they bring up data. They bring up data and they always say the data never lies.
Sure.
And oh, man. And they always go by numbers, right? When it's convenient for them. And and I'm like, man, can we just cut the bull, man, and just get down to it? Like, why are we playing these games, man? For real, bro.
I look at it like this. Numbers, they are man-made, and man do make mistakes. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact, man. That's a fact. And the funny thing about numbers is, man, numbers can be skewed, They come at you and they say, hey, man, you should be able to do a 2-hour split because you have some undertime on your route. So you could cram all this in 8 hours, right?
Nigga, please.
And you're like, no way. They point to that sheet. Well, this sheet says, you got this amount of mail, this amount of packages, so you should be straight. I'm like, nah, miss me with that, bro.
I come on, man. I do this every day. I've been doing this route every day for months, years, or however long. I should know how long it'll take me, man.
Oh man. Yo, bro, you
You
heard
know
what
what
happened
I'm
on
saying?
Amazon, bro? I didn't mean to jump left real fast, but it just popped in my head that Amazon just laid off almost 20,000 delivery drivers, bro.
Damn, son.
Damn.
Yeah, bro, it's just happened. Like,
Wow.
so that's why this podcast is important, man. We like to think that we bridge the gap between the driver, the delivery personnel, and upper management because we keep it real over here, man. We believe in transparency and holding management accountable for their actions. And speaking of that, though, we do have a special guest in the house, man.
So we
We got a special guest, bro,
do.
and she's seen the stuff management does, man, when they say one thing and they do another, man.
Yeah.
I think it's time. No, let's bring her up, man. Let's
Yeah.
bring her to the stage, bro. What's going on, Yolanda? What's up?
Hey, what's going on? Hi, everybody. Hey, Chambers, what's going on?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Nothing
Oh
much.
man,
Sorry to call you by the last name, you know.
Say
it's
everybody
all
does.
it's all good. I call them that sometimes. Um,
It's the postal way.
exactly. But it's good to have you on, Yolanda.
Thank you,
Uh,
thank you.
what are your thoughts on the topic? Because we were just talking about transparency, man, within these delivery services.
Well, what I feel is it's really sad because everyone has gone into all of this computerized numbers and all of this stuff that the computer tells you, but we are human beings. So you have good days and you have bad days where
Hmm.
sometimes it depends on, as far as our situation, it depends on the mail. The mail tells us the time, but then they go into all of these numbers about all of this data and tell you that the data is not wrong. So basically, you're doing what the economy expected you to do, and that is believing the computers over the people.
Nigga,
That's
please.
a fact.
And that makes absolutely no sense. We have had enough time doing that job that we know how long it's going to take us. We know how much mail we have and what we should be doing. And instead of them looking at those numbers, they never add into the things that they add to our routes that aren't within those numbers, like
Hmm.
for example, scanning packages. Some of those packages are scanned for the next day. So if they're scanned for the next day, how can you tell us that the data is correct for that day? It is absolutely incorrect.
Stop the cap.
That's a
There's just
fact.
no way. There's no way. You didn't add the extra 20 packages that you scanned for the following day into today's data. So how can you tell me that this is what should be done on today when you're adding yesterday's and the day after into this one day?
Hmm. That's true. That's a fact. And also, they don't account for this. Sometimes the labels on those packages, you can't scan them properly. You
Right.
got to sit there, you got to punch in the number, or
Exactly.
sometimes it's the whole thing is not visible. And you got to
Right.
call, and you know what I mean. So that adds up to your delivery time.
Exactly. Exactly.
And
Exactly.
I remember one time that I couldn't scan the barcode and I couldn't see the numbers either. So I had to go into the scanner, find the address, then write the tracking number down, and then type it in the scanner. I'm sitting
Right.
there for like 8 minutes doing all that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Exactly.
And when it's 100 degrees, you're not even halfway seeing those numbers because you're so dang on hot.
Exactly. Now, imagine if you have 4 or 5 of those packages like that. Come
Well,
on, man.
funny thing, I've had a day where I've had to type in every single number on every package because the scanner with their data in it wasn't working correctly.
Damn.
So because of that, I had to type everything in, and they're still telling me, "Oh, this should have taken you X amount of time." It's like, you know,
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
know. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Right. And
So
it's funny because it's always management telling you that, but half of them are supervisors and managers because of what? Because they cannot carry mail, and
I
that's
could
just a known fact.
I could think of a few people who fits that description.
Oh
Just
yeah. Oh
but
yeah.
we'll we'll get into that soon. Um,
Um,
you got anything
can't beat
you want
them
to add,
drunk.
bro? You got anything you want to add to that, bro?
Nah, I just said you can't beat them, join them. I was talking junk though.
Yeah, well, that's a fact.
Hey,
That's a
that's the
fact.
way it's supposed to be. I'm assuming. If you
That's a,
can't beat them, you gotta join them.
that's a fact. Now, Yolanda, let's get a little background on yourself. How long you been with the post office?
6 years, right at 6 years.
6 years. Okay. Um, how do you well in this 6 year, how do you feel the post office is doing as far as like being like have you noticed a difference from the time you got employed with the post office till now as far as like their level of transparency as far as like dealing with the carriers?
Oh yeah, for sure, for
You think
sure.
you think it gotten better or worse in your opinion?
Oh, it's way worse.
Mm,
I mean, they've always had issues, but I mean, now it's just like they're coming up with all these new plans that are crap pretty much. And, you're expecting people that have been working for this company for 30 plus years and doing things this way, and that's why it has been successful. You're expecting them to turn a whole 360 degrees and do something totally different and still thinking that they're supposed to get the same or better result. And
mm,
once you're doing that for so long and you have your way, because carry mail pretty much, everyone has their own way.
that's a fact.
So, yeah, everyone has their own way and what works best for them. So, everyone is individual as far as their times and everything else, to where I've had some routes that I can do in 3.5, 4 hours, where the actual carrier or the next person that does the route, it takes them 7, 8 hours. It just, it's all in the person. And that's why I say, all of the numbers that they're working with are horrible because they're not adding 100% of everything in, and they're telling a human being how much time that computer is telling them they should take when the computer is not the one out there doing that route, the human being is.
Exactly. And there's a lot of different variables when you get out there on the street. You
Right.
got it could be traffic jam, it could
That's
be
what I was gonna say.
construction. Yeah,
Right.
construction on the route. Could be
Yeah.
like I said, it could be terrible weather where a street is flooded, you can't go down that way.
Yeah.
A lot of different things could happen, and
Right.
they don't account for that.
Like
Not at
you,
all.
like you just said, bro, weather could be an issue too. Like it's real hot right now, so we might take an extra break or two to try to
Right.
cool on. Or when it's
Right.
winter time, we might stay in the truck for an extra few minutes to try to warm up, especially on the walking route.
Right.
Hmm.
You gotta add that in too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Exactly.
But what
Especially
gets me about them? Oh, go ahead, sweetie.
no, go ahead. I'll jump in. Go ahead.
What gets me about them is Oh my God, it just went. You go ahead and talk. I'll come back to that.
Okay. Um, no- I was just gonna say this past well last week, right? We had a heat wave.
Right,
Um, throughout the whole country, there's been a heat wave going on.
right.
Um, and two carriers had died from the heat.
Yep.
And that's the thing, man. Management, they talk about stationary time, they talk about that. But look, when you're out there in 100+ degree weather, look, man, you got to fend for yourself, man. Take your
Right.
break, go into a
Yeah.
7-Eleven, cool off, drink some water. Look,
Exactly.
if it takes me extra 20 minutes to get through this, so be it. That's what's gonna
Exactly.
happen.
And the one thing they want to always push on us is safety first. Think about yourself first. Think about your family first. Safety first. This first. That first. But then when you're trying to be safe and you're trying to do the things that they have told you should come first, you get in trouble
Hmm.
for being responsible because you're not out there like a robot and pretty much ignoring the fact that you're thirsty, ignoring the fact that you're how the manager said the other day, ignoring the fact that you're going down. You're ignoring all of that because you're in your mind, you're like, oh my God, I gotta make this time, or this is gonna happen, or I gotta get this done, or this is gonna happen. And in the whole
Hmm.
time you're forgetting that you are the one doing the work, so you're the one that matters.
Exactly, and look, I tell carriers, just keep in mind, man. No matter how cool you think management is with you, how you're just a number.
I know that
Yeah.
firsthand.
Now, if you go out there and you try to be Superman and you pass out and you end up in the hospital, they'll send you a thank you card and they'll get somebody to fill in your route. you know,
Yeah, that I
and
mean,
they'll
I
still
know
gotta go.
someone. Exactly. I know someone who actually had a heart attack on one of the routes,
Mm,
and management called to make sure that somebody went out on that route and protected the mail.
mm.
They never asked, was she okay or anything like that. They literally got an attitude because she had a heart attack and
That's
told them
crazy.
to go out there and protect the mail. That's what they were concerned about.
That's disgusting. That's so
Very,
disgusting.
I heard similar stories from other states. I'm in this big
very.
group on Facebook, and they be sharing stories and stuff. I'm like, dang, man,
Right.
it's crazy.
Man. So, I wanna hit you with a question.
Yep.
We ask all the guests this.
Okay.
Um, what's the wildest experience you ever had delivering packages?
Oh wow. Let's think. Hmm.
Could be something that surprised you, could be something that challenged you. Be like, anything come to mind?
Yeah, I've had a few packages that had a different scent to them. Um, of course, I couldn't deliver it.
Of course.
I've also had a package that didn't sound right. I'll put it that way. It had
Hmm.
some type of tick in it, so I had to report that as well immediately.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah. Um, and delivering packages, not really the wildest thing that actually remember. Didn't have anything to do with the package. It happened to be a package that they left on the ground, and they assumed that no one would know what they were doing,
Hmm.
trying to set
Ah.
things up on the route. When you're first coming in, they'll set stuff on your route. And if you feed into the bait, then they got you where they want you. But, if you don't feed into the bait and you report it or whatever the case may be, then I guess you're the hero of the day. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's the wildest thing that I've had happen is that I found a whole bag of drugs on my route. on the
Oh,
ground. Yeah, but I didn't report it to them. I called the police. So
Oh,
yo, somebody left a stash on the ground.
it was a
Yikes.
yeah.
huge baggie, and they were individual bagged up bags inside of it. So once I saw it, because I knew that children played right there, I contacted 911, and I actually had the 911 operator ask me if I could hold it until the police officer got there, and I said I don't think so. I can't. I said I'll keep an eye on the area, but I'm not holding anything. So
Nah.
I said, the last thing I need is for you to try to say it belongs to me.
Yeah, I have my fingerprints all over it, right?
Right. So when the cop got there, he held it up and looked at it, and he was just happy as he could be. And he said, "Somebody is extremely mad today." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, there's a special house right here on the corner." He said, "And somebody is really upset because they've lost their whole pack." And I said, "Well, what is that?" And he said, "It's a bag of heroin."
Oh,
Oh, man.
that's a couple thousand right there. Couple
Yeah,
bands
it,
right there.
it was it was about this big, and it was all individual bagged up bags. I was like, wow.
Man. Bagged up and ready to
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
Golly.
Right. So I
Somebody,
was just like, I didn't want the kids or any animals to get a hold of it. So I called the
yeah.
police. And then when I got back to the station, um, the manager and the supervisor actually looked at each other and smiled and said, "Well, next time you find something like that, just contact us and let us know." And I'm like, bag of drugs? Why do I need that? Wasn't in the mailbox, it was on the ground. Why would I call you to let you know? So then it dawned on me, okay,
They want the
y'all
credit.
were trying to set up something on my route. That's what y'all did. Yep.
Mm,
Yeah.
interesting.
Mm.
Okay.
Yep. I
That's
found
crazy.
money in the mailbox. I mean, I found thousands in a mailbox where I guess someone was waiting on the person to come and pick it up from the mailbox and give them whatever they were purchasing or whatever the case may be. Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, I've heard stories of postal inspectors
doing that.
planting stuff
Yep,
just to see if you would
yep,
take.
yep. And that's what they did on my route. And I don't know, I'm not quite sure if that money was another situation, but it definitely could have been. But of course, I don't take the bait of any of it because I'm not interested in it. I just want to do my job and go home.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Trust me,
Yeah,
man.
I seen that too. I seen money in the mailbox. I seen
Right?
drugs in the mailbox. I even
Yep.
seen firearms in the mailbox. And what I do, I sit the mail right on top of it and keep it moving.
Yep. That's exactly what I do. I found somebody left jewelry in their mailbox. I put something right on top of it, kept on moving. I don't have anything to do with nothing else. Just the mail.
I got another question for you, Yolanda.
Yes, sir.
Uh, what's the craziest situation you found yourself in on the job? Like
Ah, boy. The craziest? What do you mean? Like, give me an example.
maybe like something unexpected happened. Like maybe a customer approached you the wrong way, a little aggressive, and you didn't expect. Like wait, whoa, where's this coming from?
Okay.
Something like that.
Well, well, I did, and this actually happened about probably 3 weeks ago on our union vice president's route.
Oh, okay.
I went into a store and I took the mail and I set it on the front counter as we always do. And as I'm walking out the door, the lady calls me and says, "Hey, excuse me." And I turned around and I said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "That doesn't go right there." I said, "Okay, but you don't have a mailbox, so I'm unsure of where it goes." She looks and she says, "It goes to the pharmacy." I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, I didn't know that." She says, "Aren't you trained?" I
What?
and I looked at her. I said, excuse me, what is that supposed to mean? She said, I thought they trained you. And so me being me, I said something that wasn't so nice, and I left out the store.
Well, I mean, some of these customers, man.
She meant it as a racial slur, and that's why I took it so personal. You
Yeah,
know,
I was kind of
Yeah.
picking that up.
right,
um, some of these customers, because it happened to me a few times. Some people just come at me a certain type of way, and I'm calm, I'm very friendly, I'm very approachable. But if you come
right,
at me the wrong way on the wrong day, hey, you might get a different side you wasn't expecting, And
right,
some of these customers, they just come at you and they think because you're wearing a uniform, they could say anything to you
right,
and it'll roll off your back. I'm like, bro,
right.
I could
Yeah.
set this scanner down and we can get it cracking, but
Exactly, and
we
that's
ain't
and
gotta
that's how you feel too.
we ain't gotta
I
take it
remember,
there.
I remember one time I'm working on this route. I had to dismount it. So I'm walking, cut across this grass. Dude was coming out the door. He was like, hey, don't walk through my grass. I'm like, oh, damn, my bad. So went
Right,
to go hand the mail. He smashed the mail on my hand. I'm like, oh, all right. I turn
right,
around. I walk back through his grass and I wipe my
right.
feet through
Hey, I'm telling
it.
you, I've had a customer that I had to do that to too. I was in 100, and I had to be about 103, 104 last year, and it was a hot day, and I was on my swing on a walking route, and I walked in the yard, and the customer comes to the door and says, "Can't you read?" And they had a sign up on their front door, but when he came out the door, I wasn't even looking at him because I was wiping the sweat out of my eyes, and it started burning my eyes really bad, and I had sweat pouring off of me. Instead of him asking if I needed a water or a napkin or something, that's what he said. Can't you read? And I looked at him with one eye open and the other one closed because it was still burning. And I said, "Excuse me, what did you just say?" He said, "Can't you read?" I said, "I could if my eyes were open. Don't you see the sweat pouring down my head?" He says, "I don't care about that." I said, "I don't give a damn about your sign." And I walked through the grass and started stomping my feet through the grass and walked out the yard.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like, what's wrong with people, man? You
It's
have like,
like, you don't want to be like that, but you are
yeah,
inconsiderate. You see that it's hot as crap out here. And instead of you asking if I'm okay, like the normal people do, you're worrying about me reading a sign on your door that I can't see because of the sweat about some grass that was already dead anyway.
yeah,
yeah, like
Like, seriously?
something's wrong with some of these people. Because I'm like, bro, I'm doing you a favor. I'm bringing you your whatever is in your, I don't know, you ain't got nothing important.
Right.
Half the time, it ain't nothing important. It's some junk mail,
Exactly.
and I'm halfway dying out here in the heat.
Right. To deliver some coupons to your door.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? At least hand me a bottle of water.
Right, right. And see, most of the customers
I'm
actually are considerate and they will do that. But you got these other ones that are so stuck up and feel like they're better than everybody. And, they don't like color people anyway.
Mm.
So they find something negative or something smart to say out their mouths, not realizing that, hey, I can make it so that you don't ever get mail again. You know?
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
understanding that, I'm doing you a favor, these checks and stuff that you're waiting on for your millions of dollars, they cannot come. They can be sitting in a P.O. box somewhere until you get there to get it,
hmm That's
you
a fact.
know? So, I mean,
That's a fact. And then customers they forget that we have that right.
right,
We if we feel like a particular address is unsafe or it's whatever, we look, man. You can come to the post office, pick your mail up. I just pick
exactly,
that address.
yeah.
exactly.
I hate,
So
hate to do it that way, but hey,
Right, but it's like, either you can have some common courtesy and some common decency about yourself, or I don't have to do this. You know, you
Hmm.
can figure out another way. But if you want to save the money every month for that PO box, then you can have some common courtesy and
Mm,
think about others instead of trying to be nasty.
exactly. Exactly. I agree.
You know, you kill them with kindness. You don't have to be nasty with them, but hey, we can flip it around and make sure that you won't get mail there anymore.
Exactly. You know, just it's a two-way street, man.
Right.
You know. So let me ask you this, Yolanda.
Uh-huh.
What's the best part about your job that brings you the most satisfaction or joy while serving your customers?
The most, I'm gonna say, well, for one thing, like I'm really big into animals. So, even though they tell us don't feed the animals like we're at Maymont Park, you know, um,
Mhm.
like Route 9, where they're used to the carrier that brings them treats. They wait at the end of the driveways. So I make sure they have those, and that makes me feel good. But also during peak, when we're delivering all of this, even though it's a lot, I know those children are going to have a great Christmas.
Mm.
So, I think about, stuff like that. Not to mention the extra money that some of them give us.
Hey, it doesn't hurt.
Yeah,
It
Right,
yeah,
doesn't
because you
hurt.
feel appreciated.
Hey,
yeah.
look, I know what the M41 says. I know it says, "Oh, can't you can't take anything over $10." But listen,
And
man,
who listens to that?
I'll take a
Hey,
hundred.
shit, I remember one
Uh-huh.
time I went to Chick-fil-A. I'm going to Chick-fil-A for lunch. Got up to the line. I ordered my food. This lady said, I got it. I'll pay for it. I'm like, oh,
That
okay.
happened to me the other day
No,
when
I
I
had
went
that
and bought
earlier.
my electrolyte drinks. The lady was like, "Honey, don't worry about it." She said, and she came out to the door because I went back to the truck to get my card. And when I was walking back in the door, she came out of her out of Wawa with them in her arm and said, "Here you go, sweetheart. I got these for you. Please stay hydrated."
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right. Stuff like that makes you feel good and appreciated.
yeah,
Hmm.
that's good look.
And I've had plenty of customers say, I'm so sorry that you have to be out in the heat. People don't tell y'all enough, but you guys do a great job and we really appreciate you. Things like that make
Yeah,
you want to come to work, make you feel like you're making a difference, you know?
yeah.
Hmm.
I always ask myself, why can't, they tell us that at the office when we come back or in the morning?
Exactly. Exactly.
You know how
Yeah.
much harder we'll work if they say, hey, thank you, I appreciate you, man. You know how much
Right.
harder we'll go? You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
You did a great job today, Thank you so much. Or, I mean, anything.
I thank
Yeah.
you. Will go a long way.
Yeah, is that, or even if they tell you, hey, one of your customers called and they said you've been doing a great job, man. They called up here, they just wanted to let you know that.
Right.
A little bit goes a long way.
Exactly. And you
Hmm.
just feel really good about that. Like,
Now, well, this question, I'm gonna throw it around the board. Do y'all have a favorite customer on your route
um,
that you can think of?
well, I have a swing route. So,
Mhm.
but I do have a few customers that are, really sweet or whatever. I used to love to do Route 26 because in those businesses, those customers were so sweet. But I actually do have one particular place. It's on my swing route on Route 18. When I go to that retirement home, they love me so much. The manager tells me, "Oh my gosh, do you know we wait for you to get here? We love the days of the week that you work. You are so awesome. You're on point. You don't slam the mailboxes and knock things off the wall. We really appreciate that." And they always tell me they really appreciate me when they see me. They're so happy that I'm there.
Yeah. And they always eating when they go in there.
You said what?
They always eating when they go in there.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And they eat 5-star meals.
Yeah,
They do, but they're doctors and old doctors and lawyers, so that's why.
yeah. So I got a lot of favorite spots on my route, man. A couple of the businesses I go to, because I go to them every day and I see the people, I chit chat with them. And just one little kid on my route, just one little girl. She probably like 8. Every time she see me, she give me that. She connect with it too. What's up, Jamar? Like she's so
Yeah,
cool. A couple of dogs on my route. When I see them, they be hyped. I be petting them. So you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah. And your route, like I got a couple of customers on your route too that really love me. Um, toward the end of your route, when you go right next to Bell Grove up in that area, those three little loops.
Yeah,
Once you go in there, and you do them 3 loops.
yeah,
Yeah, those some of those customers are really nice.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I know they love mom, man, because
Oh yeah,
bro be taking everything every day, bro. I'll be like, damn, hard worker right there.
that's right.
Yeah,
You don't want to get stuck with it.
Mm.
That's what they call
fact.
me, the cleanup woman.
So
Yeah,
let's I got one more question for you, Yolanda.
All right.
Have you had any negative experiences with management in your career?
You sure you want me to answer this question?
Well, we like to keep it real over here at the Vulture Delivery
Oh,
Podcast.
I can
We
keep
like to
it
keep it a
real with
buck.
you now. Of course. You better know it. You better believe it.
You know
bro
what?
want the dirt. He want the
Listen,
dirt.
man, we got a little time. You know what? Give us give us two situations, two experience, two that you had with management that you could think of.
Well, one situation is I was called out of my name
Oh, that's not good.
for 4 days. I was called Coquina. And finally, one of the supervisors said, "Why do you keep calling her that?" And the answer was, "Because she reminds me of Griselda Blanco." Do you know who Griselda Blanco is?
I'm aware.
You know who Griselda Blanco is,
Mm-hmm.
correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, that was a hit in the stomach and it was very insulting. Um, Another time is when I went to management came to me at a concern saying that my t-shirt was showing and that people were complaining that my breasts were hanging out, which was not the deal. And so I, mentioned another carrier that wears sheer pants, and you can see through them. And so, and the manager told me that they were talk to that person when they came in too, that they had to talk to them too. And I said, okay, well, when I got back off of my route, that same person confronted me when out after I had clocked out and everything. They came in and they came all the way from their case to confront me to ask me if I said that they don't wear underpants, at which that was not what I said. And I asked who told them that, and they wouldn't tell me. But I already knew who told them because management was the only people that were talked to about it. And so they stirred it up and went back and told this particular person, knowing the situation, that there were two opposites, and they still did it, to create drama anyway, which is creating a hostile work environment. Um.
That's a little. Wow. Okay.
Oh yeah.
That's
Oh
not.
yeah.
That's
I,
not
I
good.
just I just Googled Griselda Blanco. Whoever said it was wild, dude.
Right.
Damn.
Right. Isn't that
Cause I
crazy?
know. Yeah, that's messed up.
I might expect a comment like that from like maybe another carrier, whatever. Not from management though. I'll be
Right.
like
Now this came directly from management.
shame on y'all. What's wrong with y'all, man?
Right.
Y'all gotta do better, man.
That's crazy.
Exactly.
Um,
Like who does something like that? And you're supposed to be leading by example. You're a leader,
mhm.
but this is what you do. No.
Oh man, I don't know what's wrong. So, Yolanda,
Mhm.
you mentioned to me you was working on your own podcast.
Yeah,
You wanna share with the audience what that's gonna be about?
of course. Well, I'm currently setting up a podcast and trying to get everything situated with it. And it's going to be about stress, anxiety, depression, and living through, all of that and dealing with it in the workplace and also in everyday life,
Mm,
and different situations that people go through, especially people situations that they can't talk about. They don't feel comfortable talking to people, or they don't feel comfortable talking about it because they're in fear of, the outcome or what may happen because of that, any retaliation or anything.
okay.
So I'm just going to try to stir in the topics about that, and try to get people on there that are going to actually talk and voice their opinions and maybe things that they've gone through, and how they are able to handle it with their everyday life.
That's what's up, man. We need more podcasts like that. I appreciate that.
Right.
Definitely need
Yeah,
more of that. Where can they find that? Where can they look that up on YouTube?
It will be on YouTube. I haven't dotted all of my I's and crossed all my T's yet,
Okay.
but once I get it up and running, I'll definitely let you guys know and let everybody know so that they can tune in.
Awesome. Okay. Whenever you get that, we'll put that in the description of this video so
Absolutely.
the audience could check that out. That sounds dope.
Absolutely.
That's dope.
We go
Um,
through a lot of things that a
mhm,
lot of people just don't like to talk about.
that's a fact.
And,
yeah,
going through life, you have to be able to release the anger and release the stress and the frustration in order to move on. Or else you'll be stuck in that same situation. It's like being in a bubble. You can't get out of it until you've gotten past it.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Exactly. And just real quick, look, I don't know about the rest of y'all, but my experience in the post office, I've seen people come in obviously with going through something, just head down, don't say a word,
Mhm.
just angry.
Right,
And you could tell, like, bro, you need to, I'm not a therapist, but you need to talk to somebody.
right.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's not good to be carrying all that hate on you, man. Just,
Exactly.
and bringing that into the work floor. Just, you know,
yeah,
talk to somebody, or like you said, listen to a podcast like what Yolanda described. Maybe that can help.
Right,
Um,
yeah.
you know, definitely talk to
It's good.
somebody though.
It's good that you say that because everybody go through things, in their own way. But some
right,
people come to work to escape that, escape reality. So you don't want to
right.
go through no BS at work too. But you trying to escape reality at work. You know what I mean? So
Bingo. And that's
Mhm,
that's that's my whole purpose is, when you're dealing with these things outside of work, you're not like our boy says every day, you never know what other people are going through, you know,
yeah,
and the best thing to do is to try to uphold everyone, try to be positive to everyone instead
mhm.
of bringing the negativity with you and that negativity spreading, and then it just becomes a chain reaction,
Yeah, yeah.
you
We
know.
yeah,
definitely don't look. Um, in the early '90s, in the late '80s, remember they used to always say, "Oh, he about to go postal.
That's
He
where it
about to
came from.
snap." Exactly.
yeah,
Yep.
And with the post office, they've gotten better in terms of like there's a no zero tolerance of violence on the work floor. They've gotten better with that.
Right.
But they still poke and prod, make those comments, try to
Yep.
agitate you, you know. But
um,
yeah, we definitely don't want to see people snap, man. So,
Right.
folks out there, look, go talk to somebody if you're going through something, man.
Right.
Don't keep that shit bottled in, you know.
Exactly.
yeah,
Some people get to the point where they're going through so much and they don't know how to express themselves, and they end up taking their own lives.
Hmm.
So, my purpose is to try to refrain from having to do things, keeping them from having to do things like that or thinking to do things like that, and being able to relieve that stress. Because if you keep that stress and you bottle it up and then you have more that adds on it, and it keeps going and going and going, that bomb is going to explode eventually.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it may not just hurt everyone else, it may hurt you too, so people have to be able to release this tension and all of these feelings. They have to be able to.
Yeah.
So if they can't talk to people at home, or they can't talk to management or anything like that, hey, that's what my podcast is going to be for, because I'm here to to listen and to take things that they're going through and how they deal with it. I might be able to use some of those tactics myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's always good to let people vent. There's
Right.
some of that out, man. You know,
Yeah.
that's what's up, man. I can't wait to hear that, man.
Yeah.
Looking
Well, y'all
forward.
stay tuned because it'll be there.
Mm-hmm. All right. Any closing words, Yolanda? Want to let the audience know?
Not really. Just everybody keep your head up. Things are going crazy in the economy, all over the place. It always gets worse before it gets better. Just stay positive and keep on moving.
Anything more? Anything want to close out with, brother?
I like, we work together in the management, us two, it's how you say it to a person, you know what I'm
Mm,
saying?
yep, I love that. It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Exactly.
Well,
Some
not at our office, but I seen a supervisor car get keyed up, tires get flattened. So you never know what somebody going through, and watch how you talk to people.
watch how you
Right.
go.
Yeah, because there have been cases in the post office where carriers have brought in guns and shot the supervisor and manager and then turned it on themselves. They got that mad.
Yeah, man. So listen, remember how you talk to people, because
Right.
you never know what somebody's going through.
Hmm.
So just keep that in the back of your mind.
Right.
All right. So we got another good episode here, man. We had the Vulture Delivery podcast. We're gonna come at you with another episode 8, in a few weeks. We're gonna have something special lined up for y'all. So look, stay tuned. All right.
Bye, everybody.
All right.
All right.